It's Podular. Thank you for joining us, everyone. We're back for episode 46. It is Thursday, September 11th. Never forget. We are here to recap the second 2 nights of the Colorado run. We've got some boots on the ground with us, with LeCraw. Super excited to get him in the mix here. Last week, we broke down Boulder. This week, we're breaking down the 2 nights at Dillon Amphitheater. But without further ado, bringing my trusty co-host, Mr. Scotty Fuller. How are we doing tonight, Scotty?
Man, I am doing great, partner. Just finished running through these boards a few hours ago. Just getting back from a swim lesson with my boy, and excited to get the council together for a little potty pod. Before I introduce our guest, we do have a couple of
STS9 related announcement. So the band was scheduled to play the Capitol Theater in Port Chester, New York. I believe the original date, Scotty, was Friday, September 19th. Did I have that right? Yep. That was supposed to kind of be a shoot off of Camp Elsewhere. So I'm sure anybody who was up there was going to shoot over to the Cap to check them out. So they're looking to just put together a 4-night run early 2026. So we have our first 2026 show announcements, and this rescheduled Port Chester Capitol Theater show will be the second night of that. So Scotty, this is looking real fun, and these are looking like a potential birthday show for you, huh?
One is on my birthday. I think it's the last year we had the 22nd, which was Sweetwater, which was the closest thing I'd ever had to a birthday show. Now that is on my birthday, February 20th.
Yep. So the Cap, I was heady place too. So they're starting out on the 19th of February, which is, look at the calendar here, a Thursday. So we had Thursday through Sunday run here, just like old times, starting off in Boston at Big Night Live. That's where they played last fall, right? Yeah. About a year ago.
Fall.
Yeah. And from everyone that went, heard that the crowd that showed up was a lot of people that weren't the typical people to be at a Sound Tribe show, which is super exciting to hear on a Sunday. And I heard the sound was great, and I heard the crowd was great, and the vibes were great. It's a great way to start. Then you get that Capitol Theater show on Friday, February 20th. Then Irving Plaza in New York City. And then the Brooklyn Bowl in Philadelphia. Scotty, I've never been to Philadelphia either, and it sounds like it'd be my kind of town for sure, in all the worst ways.
It's a good time. I've got a lot of playful shit talking for Philadelphia because of my sports alliances, but man, I've never had a bad time in that city.
Man, so exciting news. Obviously, I'm sure a lot of people in New York were excited for those shows coming up next week, but I think this is an improvement based off what we had. Now, if you're traveling for these shows, you can fit in a 4-night run for sure. So,
all right. So we're going to get into our first, into our guest today. We are officially closing the loop. A few weeks ago, we had Nate's oldest friend. This week, we've got my oldest friend. I have known this person longer than I have known anyone in the world. I have seen over 40 Sound Tribe shows with him. and most recently enjoyed this 3 night run in Boulder and in Dillon. He's our boots on the ground this week. He is the third member of what we affectionately call the council between me, Nate, and Will. Mr. Will LeCraw, welcome to the podcast, sir.
Gentlemen, how are we doing today?
Mm.
Doing a lot better now, brother. Good to see you. Good to see
Thanks
you.
for joining us.
Thank
Yeah.
you for having me on. I've been super happy and proud of you guys for starting this. So I was happy to get the invitation and looking forward to chopping it up with you guys.
Of course,
Fuck
of
yeah.
course. So Will, before we get into Dylan, talk to us just a little bit about who you are, your musical roots, your first Sound Tribe experience, and then we'll dive into to last weekend a little bit.
Yeah, and so like Scott mentioned earlier, I grew up in Atlanta. I've known Scott, since what, I was 12 and you were
Sixth
14
grade,
or
seventh
something
grade,
like
something like
that,
that. Yeah.
crazy. So grew up in Atlanta, obviously had those influences growing up, but I had older siblings and a mom who loved Earth, Wind, and Fire. So I have an affection for bass slapping, funky, get down type of music. And the first time I heard Sound Tribe was, and I was thinking about it earlier, was back in, I think it was like 2007 or 2008. A good buddy of mine back in Atlanta, Bo Davis, he is
Shout
also,
out, Bo.
yeah, knows Scott as well. He showed me Shock Doctrine like back in
Mm.
Ah,
2007. And I
I
was like,
didn't know this. This is
yeah,
cool. 2000,
yeah.
that'd be 2007, 2008 time. Yeah.
And it was the studio version too. So I was like, what the hell is it? It was the first time I ever heard sound, heard the name SES9 or anything. And I'm ashamed to say it took me, what, 6 years, I
Yeah.
think, from the moment I heard them and figured and learned who they were till I actually saw them live, which was Counterpoint Music Festival, which was in just outside of Atlanta in Georgia in 2014. And I'll never forget it. And Scott knows exactly what I'm talking about when they played the monkey music
Yep.
break.
Oh my God.
Mhm.
I remember looking over at Scott and being like, "Oh, I get it. Like, it
Mhm.
makes sense to me now, and I've been on the bus ever since." So,
Front row, right in front of Alana. That was Alana's first Atlanta experience. That was my first Alana experience. And yeah, I remember being so excited to have you there for
Bro,
that one.
can we talk about the lineup for that festival real quick?
Yeah, fucking Outcast.
Yeah.
riff raff,
Pretty
come on.
Lights. Yeah. Pretty Lights, Foster the People, Outcast, J. Cole, Major Lazer, Big G, Flux Pavilion, Above and Beyond, Matt and Kim, Thievery Corp, A-Track, Boys Noise. This might not even be the full thing. This might have been like the initial announcement.
Dude, so we listened to J. Cole from the front row of Sound Tribe because we wanted to be right in front of Alana for our first Alana.
Yeah.
And this was, dude, I mean, this was before Forest Hills Drive. This was very early J. Cole. And we
Hmm.
were fans. Kate was a huge fan. She would still say she holds that against us a little bit for not being closer for that. Um, but that was back in the fucking day. Yeah, that was
Hmm.
Outcast. Dude, A-Track was so cool that weekend. I remember Janelle Monáe was there.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of really dope shit that have Foster the People. That was my aha
Yeah.
moment for Foster the People as
Bro,
well.
they're sick.
They're so good. That
What was
if
cool? Well, sorry. What was cool about that too? Also talking about Outkast, I remember now that was the first time I think Killer Mike was on stage with Outkast since I think they broke or not they broke up, but like like mid two
since they went on
thousands, late two
hiatus, man,
thousands. Yeah.
that was one of the coolest nights of my life as an Atlanta fan. I've got a picture of you and me dancing framed. It's a horrible picture, it's just the back of us, but I there's so much there. I love it. It's sitting right up
I
there.
remember that picture. Burn it, please.
So let's
Yeah, well, hey guys, I'm also homies with Will too, right? Like, I mean, not just third wheeling it here. We
No,
met a
it's
little
funny.
bit later, but yeah.
It's funny. The first time I met Nate was when I purchased the shirt that I'm currently wearing. We met
Okay,
back at the
so
Tabernacle.
Tabby 2019, that was the magnum opus.
no,
Yeah.
no, it was the Roxy 2018.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
I think
That's right.
briefly, but first time we really kicked it was at that
Yeah,
Tabby
probably the
run
first time I
for
really
sure.
kicked it was then because I remember that, and that was like a joining of the two biggest forces in my life. and I knew you guys would love each other, and you have ever since. And I'm goddamn, I'm so excited to be here today, guys. Let's fucking get into it.
Let's
Yeah.
do it. Let's do
Yes.
it.
So let's get into it. Will, you weren't with us last week, but we've already discussed in deep depth the Boulder Theater. And so we're just gonna kick it off right from Saturday, and we'll just start from your general impressions of Dylan, and the amphitheater and the accommodations. Kind of tell us about your day getting up there, because we actually didn't get up there together. You rode up separately, and so initial impressions of the venue, and we'll start there.
Yeah, and Dillon as a city was a place that or a town, whatever it's labeled as, was a place I never even heard of until I think earlier this year. I'm born and raised in Atlanta, but I lived in Denver for a little while. So the first time I went to Dillon was, earlier this year with Scott, you and Kate, and it was right after I think Soundtrack had announced that they were playing in Dillon, so we were able to kind of scope it out and spend the day up there. And I remember just thinking to myself, like, this might be the best venue for Soundtrack, right? And
Hmm.
for me, going up there, beautiful drive. You get through Denver and you're driving through the mountains, and it's obviously all like the cool little scenic towns up there. But once you get to Dillon and you get to the amphitheater, it's like, you have the amphitheater set up, and then you have this big lake behind it, and then these massive mountaintops right behind that. And when Sound Tribe eventually came on by 7:30, I mean, it was still daylight.
Mm.
The last time I saw Sound Tribe in the daytime was at Counterpoint.
Hmm.
So it was really cool seeing them in, just literally like sailboats in the background on a lake with mountains in the background with the sun setting behind it. I mean, it couldn't have been, a better setting for a Sound Tribe show, in my opinion. And there were times where I was just kind of distracted with the backdrop. It's like, did I die and where am I? But overall, Dillon is a great town, and they're obviously particular with their noise ordinance. So things had to start a little earlier, which, as somebody in my 30s, I'm happy to start earlier and end early.
Fuck yeah, that was one of my favorite parts.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so
And
yeah,
the accommodations around Dylan are wave spell esque.
right.
There are multiple hotels that border it, and then there's a bunch of condos that are flush with Airbnbs. I ran into so many familiar faces that were staying in those, and we stayed there.
Mhm.
It was just like wave spell in terms of closeness. I mean, I went backstage both nights and was back home, by the fireplace enjoying some food with the homies by 10:35, 10:40.
Wow.
Unbelievable, right? I mean, like quality hangs where you look up and you've been hanging for 2 hours and it's midnight. It just
Cool. Rub it in more, guys. Yeah.
Sorry that we got to
You
talk
were
about this.
sorely missed, man.
Oh, I'm sure.
I can't think of how many times I thought, God damn, dude, Nate would be having so much fun right now.
Mhm.
But yeah, man, I just to second everything that you said before we even get into the music. I mean, that place is top notch, and I've been told that right now there's no plans, but let's make some plans to go back to that place
I
because
agree.
Yeah. I will fucking hell or high water. I will make it. And Will, you've seen the band in a couple other outdoor venues in Colorado, like at the Mishawaka and Red Rocks. How does Dylan stack up to that?
I mean, it's a totally different vibe,
Yeah.
right? I mean, one thing about Sound Tribe is they're going to be respectful of, the local noise ordinance and, the venue itself. So,
Mhm.
when you're comparing a venue like Dillon compared to Mishawaka, it's like, they're on different ends of the spectrum, in my
it's
opinion.
almost like levels of the Legend of Zelda, right?
I,
Like
I think I'm more of like Dante's Inferno, like
something like that, but like
Dylan's level one, and then Mishawaka is like close to no, I'm just kidding. But really, honestly, I think I like both those venues for different reasons. But like I said, as I get a little bit older, it's nicer to be able to walk back to your Airbnb rather than travel 2 hours
Oh,
south. It's a
It
blizzard.
is a Red Rocks is a schlep, dude.
Yeah.
And honestly, after doing it, I think 9 or 10 years in a row, I'm refreshed with at least taking a little break. Who knows if they'll ever go back? I'm sure they will at some point. But I was stoked to hear that they're trying out this venue. I'd seen a lot of other bands. Um, uh in the jam scene do shows there, and again it just looked like an insane backdrop. And actually I've been to Dillon in the winter time, and like, yeah, as soon as you turn the corner and that lake opens up out of the mountains, you're like, oh, this is a special place.
Yeah.
So we had openers at these shows too before we get into the STS 9 show. Was night one Mark Farina and then night two
Uh,
Michael Menard, or have those flipped?
Night one was Michael Minert.
Okay.
Night two was Mark
How was
Farina.
that?
But honestly, for me, I'm embarrassed to say, Michael Minert was a good time. Mark Farina didn't really stand out to me as much as he normally does. I was kind of low key really excited about his set, and personally, the least exciting Mark Farina set that I've ever been a part of. But I'm also in mingle mode when we get to that point. So,
Yeah, not paying as much attention. Yeah.
yeah, I hate saying that because Mark Farina's a legend, but it just didn't jump out to me this weekend.
He kind of needs like at least an hour and a half to get going, so that makes sense a little bit. But let's get into the show, boys. We have a bevy of clips to get into. And what did I tell you, Scotty? What did I tell the people that you guys were going to get this opener at some point? So we're not going
did.
far at all for our.
What a shot!
we start by talking about how cool the fucking band looked? You got Beanie Phipps, you got Windbreaker Patagonia Hunter, you got Steezy Windbreaker Zach. Man, you got furry sweater Alana. Woo,
I was just
man.
about to say that, usually whether if I'm seeing the show live or if I'm listening to it, I rarely am able to see the Nugs version, like the live
Yeah,
stream version. And every time I see that, I'm like, okay, what shoes is Alana wearing? Zach,
Yeah.
right.
pretty sure she had
That's
the high top air or ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually something I've avoided doing over the last 2 weeks. Is I've stayed away from the Nuggets clips because it's more fun to see them in this form for the first time.
Bro, it's all I've had, you know?
Yeah, I'm just holding on to every detail.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, no, dude, the band looks so cool. I love these Nug streams. They always they above everyone else, man, and all the iterations that we've had of these streams over the last, 10, 15 years. They just know where to put those cameras, and that shot of Phipps's modular is for that part in particular, it's just because
It's
that Be
it's
Nice Equinox is fucking nuts. The seg there is
yeah.
all Phipps.
It's the next best thing to the live as time changes shots, honestly.
Sure.
Like where that, of course, that was catered specifically as a DVD release, so that makes sense. But like, yeah, some incredible shots here. Um, well, proper, be nice opener. Well, proper. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. You know it's on. And yeah, it's the second time we've seen this Be Nice Equinox segue. But this one felt a little bit more worked out, a little bit more patient, a little bit more modular infused, and a little bit more of both of those songs going on at once. So, what a way to start it. Then we move along the set list here. One that was on the cutting room floor. So you get Be Nice into Equinox, Hard Stop, Arigato. 3 songs in. Good Lord. Vibes from the crowd, guys. How are things feeling? 3 songs in here.
You go, Will.
Honestly, I mean, they just know how to start off a show, right? I
Hmm.
mean, it's always like this perfect like middle intro, get your feet moving, And at the time, I'm not sure if you noticed, but we had on and off rain all
Hmm.
day
Yeah.
during that. And I mean, by whatever miracle, it stopped maybe like 10 minutes before the show started,
Yeah.
so you can see people in their ponchos and everything. But overall, the vibe was great. I mean, despite the weather, the way they introed it, just the segue, like you had mentioned before, it was just like a really easy way to kind of get your feet moving and get the crowd going.
Fuck
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, and as far as crowd vibes, man, I mean, it was like a Sunday Levitt show. That was what it felt like. Like everyone was so accessible. That venue, the way it's set up, you can almost see everyone's face from wherever you're standing. And
Mhm.
so
Okay. Like a
even
full on bowl kind of thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so even like where we were in the concrete section of bleachers towards the right on Zach's side, and I could see all of my friends within arm's distance and a very easy walk. We talked about having to fucking earn it, whether you're going to Mishawaka and doing that drive, or whether you're at Red Rocks and somebody's like, come see me, and you're like, God damn it, dude.
How many rows
Uh,
up? What are you doing up there, dude?
exactly. You want me to come 50 rows up a mountain? Like, no, right? And Dylan wasn't like that. If you saw somebody, you were there talking to him within 20 seconds. There was a guy, and I'll say his name before I get off here. I forget it off the top of my head, but there's a guy handing out cookies, like freshly baked cookies that were
Yeah, didn't they have
so.
like a food policy where you could bring in? So they had a spaghetti policy then, huh?
Yeah, you bring in whatever you want. My shout out Dom Ross. He brought in a ribeye on Sunday. But yeah, there was a guy handing out like thick grandma's cookies. He had 2 bags of them, and I found him at set break and took a couple more just to give to more people. Yeah, dude, vibes were premium at this point, and the rain was done, like Will said. It was awesome.
Just to piggyback on that, Scott, since you remember, or since you said it, and I remembered, first time I ever had real caviar was at this.
Yes, I got
Oh,
my fucking Chuck Danger caviar bump. Oh
Nate,
my
I've never
Yeah.
God.
been more confused in my entire life. This man showed up out of nowhere with like a $300 can of caviar.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was the greatest thing ever.
It's
Chuck's a good man. Shout out Chuck for providing the caviar bumps at pretty much every show
Oh my
he's at. Yeah.
gosh. I had never gotten to do it before. We never crossed paths when we are at the same show, and I was not at Napa, and he came up to me and he was so excited to finally give it to me because we had talked about it, and I threw my hands up, and oh my God, that was thank you for reminding me that, Will. That was probably one of my favorite parts of Monday night. So yeah, crowd vibes are high. Who hates a Be Nice Equinox? Then you get an Arigato. Shout out
This
Bodie.
Arigato. This
Yeah,
Arigato is
I
pretty
know.
special. Yeah.
Bodie will be sad we cut it, but that was another one of his jams, and there's a very cute video of him and Trip, Adam's kid, reacting to that.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and yeah, great standalone Equinox. Got a lot of clips to get through tonight, so
Yeah.
we cut it in exchange for this next one that we'll get into.
How does that beanie keep all in his hair in there?
That just protects the circuit breaker.
I was about to say, it holds his cranium in place.
Setlist fuckery here, boys.
I could
What the
watch the
hell?
fifth stamp all day.
Dude, 93 times a week, bro.
Scotty, thank God you'll be able to go back and actually watch these shows after getting your first look at these.
I
Um,
know.
so I mean, bro, we're 4 songs in. Be Nice, Equinox, Arigato, Potamus. What the fuck else would a hater want? Like, all right, you've been complaining about these fucking set lists, dude. It almost seemed like, all right, fucking eat this for lunch, fucking buckos. Like,
Uh-huh.
and not just Eponymous. Into this lift you up where we've talked about lift you up being a launch pad, right? And we've seen them do these lift you up segues into other songs. So I found this super playful and super cool to come out of Eponymous, which is also typically a song that gets segued into, right? And then they're segueing into Lift You Up, which is often the back half of a segue as well.
Right.
Um, Excellently executed here. Not in my wildest dreams would I've heard this shit. And this is just one of those moments where they know better than we do. Like I don't know anyone that would have drawn this up. Uh,
Yes. And what was cool is so, and this is true about both of these shows. We weren't we weren't close enough to hear them if you were by the gate. I mean, we were living next to sound check. And so with your windows closed, you could hear what they were getting into a lot of the time. And this was cool because the lift you up they played with during sound check. But I never touched the potamus part of it.
they knew
So
that you would hear it. They wanted to keep that a secret.
right,
Yeah.
right. So yeah, no, a really cool combo. Lift You Up feels like it might end up on the album. Not sure, but
We'll see. I kind
it
of see that as a rave spell song, honestly. I
sure.
don't know if any of these rave spell songs will make it onto the album.
We'll
I
see.
wouldn't argue with it. Yeah.
Maybe we'll have the opportunity to ask the band one day very
hmm
soon. Who
Who
knows?
knows? Yeah.
Um,
But that is about a 5 minute clip. There is a 10 minute version of this clip. We just have so much music to get to. This lift you up wasn't just there for the sake. Like it fucking got out there on the back end of it as well.
Yep, yep. And then we get into something that I'm really excited to have Will on because Will, you're not as in the groups as a lot of people are, and certainly as some of these vocal minority people are about some of these song choices, and so a lot of these songs that these live versions were kind of your first interpretation of them. So
Right.
starting with Portal to a Starry Path, what'd you think of that shit?
I know there's been a lot of like back and forth with people's opinions on them coming out with new music, and obviously everybody wants to live in like the old songs and everything. But honestly, I've been loving the new songs they've been coming out with.
Yeah,
I know you were talking about Peachtree the other day, but all the like I really respect a band to be able to go out there, especially a band like Soundtribe has been out for what, since like the late 90s.
hmm
Still be
Coming
able
up
to
on
go
30
out.
years. Yeah.
Yeah, still be able to go out there, still be able to try new shit, be able to go out there and make new music, not really, I mean, they care what the fans think, obviously, but really just kind of doing it on their own terms, right? And yeah, I think Portal was a great song. And for me, I had heard it before from soundboards, but hearing it live in person, and especially the version that they played, I loved it. I loved it. And kind
yeah,
of like you said too, Nate, I think a lot of like they'll play a song and then you kind of in your head, you're like, oh, they're going to move into this one and they do something completely different. And so it's
hmm
this little, uh, cherry on top to be able to hear like, what are we listening to right now?
yeah.
And Scotty, it was your first one
Yep,
too, and I
yep.
got my first one just a few weeks ago in Michigan, and it was something that I was anticipating quite a bit. So your thoughts?
Man, fucking double the length of it. That's that's
Stay
that's
in
that
that pocket,
that's
right? That
that's
shit.
that's my feedback, dude. I said it. I think it was on Lauren's episode. I kind of gushed about this song because fuck, it is so good, dude.
hmm
Mhm.
Like my only complaint is that we're not seeing it naturally evolve into the monster that another clip that we're not going to play. But Life's a Symphony and Unity, it's all right. I mean, dude, let's pour some fucking Miracle Grow on this Portal like they do to symphony because
Yeah, and your
it's
Infinity, they're taking it
yeah.
one by one,
Oh, we're gonna
patience,
we're gonna get into your Infinity.
Yeah.
But Portal, yeah, I mean, dude, let's fucking beef this thing up because there ain't nothing
Mhm.
wrong with it in its current form. I just I want to see them explore this one.
Let it marinate.
Yep,
hmm I'm
absolutely.
with you on that. So a little stretching three newer songs in a row here, starting with this "Lift You Up," "The Portal to the Starry Path," another hard stop, right? And then to the "Never Never Forget." Here, listen, this song that like modular like gallop like I don't know if they're changing it. I don't know if it's just hitting harder with me, but like this one in particular in my living room was bumping, and I thought was a really strong choice for the second to last song of the set. I could see this in the last song of the set slot. Once it gets a
Certainly.
little, yeah, once I think they wait a few years to kind of put that in there for any kind of song. But I could see it in the same kind of slot as like a World Go Round, and something that pops the crowd off for sure.
Yep. Yep.
So it's
And it's funny you say that because I was about to say this Never Never Lift You Up. We're starting to see, and I don't really think too many people had a problem with those two songs, but we're starting to see the phase of that in an STS9 song's lifespan where people are comfortable with them now.
mhm.
They're excited to hear them, and they feel like they found their place amongst the rest of the catalog, and both feel very Saturday night esque. So
Dance
first,
party.
yeah, first set or second set, I like the Saturday placement, above anything. And then we get into a song that I believe we've clipped.
Yeah, we've already clipped. Yep, this is the intro. This
Yes,
is yeah. I had to clip that for the intro, dude. This instantly. It instantly is a song where like it's different every single time, right? Like not in sense of like okay, like it's typically around that 9 to 11 minutes, right? It doesn't really. It's not like the big ones are like 15 minutes or anything like that. It's typically around the same time, but it's almost like one member of the band steps up in one version, or maybe it's a modular focused one. I believe the last one we got was in Seattle, and that one was fucking nutty, dude. Phipps putting you in the blender during that one. This, in my opinion, was a very Hunter Brown led instantly.
yep,
He went bananas on the fucking sample pads like and that's why I want to start the show with that. And in terms of that little clip, again, there was a 6 minute version of a clip I wanted to share too, but we got other stuff to get to. But Mans was feeling this one for sure, and had to be a great way to kind of take us into the evening time, into set break and everything like that. So man, I mean, this first set is very strong. I know that I think we'd agree too that night two and Dylan was probably the superior show, but upon re-listening a few times, night one, especially set one,
let's talk about it. Yeah,
is a lot of fun. Like this
yeah.
is,
I remember turning to Scott after we were almost done with the second set of night one and being like, I cannot wait to listen to this like in my house or in my car because you're able
yeah,
to hear it a little bit more clearly, obviously, when like the soundboards come out. So
yep.
yeah, nothing wrong. Dude, I loved night one. I had a great time.
Yeah, you know what's interesting, and I don't know if we're gonna hear this in any of the clips that we've chosen, but somebody mentioned that this might be the most sample heavy show in STS9 history.
Mm.
It
Mm,
they might be right about
wow.
that.
Yeah.
I'm not here to argue that that's a bad thing though. But you know what? I do have an interesting complaint compared to. I don't know if I've ever heard people say this, but I said this to you, Will, in the moment. I could barely fucking hear the samples. They were so low, and they're low on the boards too.
Yeah.
You can anytime there's any like the shaky ground sample, the feel it sample, the sky high sample. They're pretty behind everything else.
hmm
Both live and on the boards. Um, people still found a way to complain, but I almost was if I had have changed anything about this night is I would have turned those up a little bit. They kind of got lost amongst everything else.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because after like seeing the show and then listening to the boards with headphones, one thought I had was like not, I hate to use the word cramming, but they're filling in with more sounds and more it sounds like
Yeah, they fill in the cracks
right,
basically.
exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's more, but it's very efficient. Like it's still it's
Hmm.
on it's still patterned, it's still structured. It's not just like random noises being thrown out there. But yeah, I remember you saying that, Scott. But honestly, I think the levels just with all the other noises coming in, I liked where it was at personally.
Sure,
Yeah. I
sure.
just counted it up. 12 out of 18 songs include some type of vocal sample from this show. That is
Yeah.
very interesting for sure. And it worked. It worked.
It
Yeah.
worked really well. Not only did I not notice it in the moment, dude, I almost had after the second set, I almost had like a Red Rocks 2016-esque feeling when I came back
Hmm.
and saw some of the discussion about this show and the way that it landed because in the moment I found no flaws. I found nothing that was bathroom break worthy. And listening to it, I didn't even skip through anything. As I was listening for stuff that I remember being a standout, I had to go back multiple times because I was like, God damn, dude, this show just flows incredibly well.
Mhm.
Yep.
Maybe the most Saturday night esque show I've ever seen,
Hmm.
if that makes any sense.
No, I get exactly what you're saying.
Yeah,
So a much needed set break for you guys
yeah,
after that first set. Um, and then I don't know if we see a whole lot of metameme in this slot to start out the second set. Not that I can really remember. This is either
interesting.
typically I feel like an encore song or middle second set or middle first set, honestly, more commonly. So I like this slot for metameme. I like it for lights go down, turn the fucking light rig up type get going shit like loungy drum and bass into
Yeah,
big guitar. Kind of propels you into another really dance heavy, vocal heavy set here. And let's I think now's a good time now that the lights have gone down to acknowledge um, the evolving of the light rig
yep,
from Boulder to Dillon. Obviously, a bigger stage, but you've got the hanging squares and stuff like that, and some of the shit we're gonna see Drew and company do on some of these songs. Honestly, I've got some visual shit to just play for you while we talk about some of the some of the songs here. Um, bro, they looked fucking awesome up there.
I was impressed, and not that Dylan's not cohesive for a good light show, but
Hmm.
you know, I mean,
Yeah, in the first
give him
set, you're not gonna get much of that when the sun's out.
right. And
no,
having come from the Boulder Theater,
yeah,
there's a very high bar that's already been set at this
Hmm.
point. And I don't remember if I mentioned this part when when I was talking to Drew last week, but he said he had the Rave Cave nickname for Boulder Theater, and but he said he had way more toys to play with at Dylan.
Oh
So
yeah, there are a lot more
more
photons and
screens,
shit. Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
all that. So going into it, we knew that there was at one point it was going to be kind of a bigger presentation, but going into second set, I think is the first time you really started getting a taste of that.
Yeah, and now that this next clip we're getting into is a pretty cool fucking visual moment too. So let's hit it right here.
they do so well stacking on top of each other.
Oh, it looks so cool. behave, Alana.
Dude, the lasers are twerking.
Dude, I was
Jesus.
this was the moment I realized my back was hurting.
Alana got that dog in her.
Is
She's
she playing
massage.
around with the new? Is she playing around with the new pedal this year?
No, it's the mini
She
bass.
Okay.
she's massaging your back is what she's doing. All right, boys. For my money, this is the best standalone Feel It that we've heard. We've heard
Sure.
Feel It be involved in some pretty sick segues. Feel It Arigato,
Yep.
Feel It Equinox from Seattle, a bunch of other stuff that they've done with it. Um, this is I think we heard this song really settle in.
Yeah.
And where that could go on for another 10 minutes like what we
Yeah.
just heard there because they got into those sections in between the like what you would call I guess the chorus or the main riff like the dun 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 dun, and usually the whole thing is kind of like pretty centered around that, even the kind of improv that they throw in, but like Alana's hitting it with like the vibal like bass slap treatment there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
And our third rave spell song
yeah.
of the night. Very rave spell heavy night.
Oh yeah,
And
sure.
when we finish, I've also got a little bit of tidbit of info on what we didn't hear all weekend too. But very heavy rave spell night, and I think everyone's okay with that, right? Um, fuck guys, that one looked cool. That fucking laser moment, like they
Dude.
didn't really hit the lasers too hard during Metameme. They were kind of more like atmospheric lasers, but those like straight fucking beams right at the drop of it. Like it's so
Dude,
yeah,
Yeah.
just
the
boom.
lasers opening their legs, like unreal.
Yeah. Slutty.
Well, their timing with like how they present each layer of lasers, by the end
Uh-huh.
of the show, it's like, oh my God, what did I just see? But no, I've always loved how they kind of ease that in. Going back to your metameme comment, I do remember being at set break, being at the concession stands, and leaving immediately after I heard metameme.
Mhm.
It's a song that doesn't even really need, all the lights, but I just love the way they kind of segue into that.
Yeah.
It's
You're
it's
you're
definitely a
you're
run back to your seat moment.
you're
Yeah,
in line for a fucking hot dog or something. You just hear wow, 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 wow,
I'll
wow. You're like,
start.
fuck.
I'm all right.
I'll
Fuck that hot
start.
dog.
I'm all right.
So yeah, we get into not really a hot stop, kind of like a soft transition into balancing here. Um, a short one. I mean, this sounded gangster, man. I can't put my finger on exactly. Maybe it's just like time passing and me like becoming more and more fond of these songs and like they seem a little bit more gangster. They've got that, it's a little bit more hood than it was,
Yeah.
right?
I mean,
Um,
and we haven't stopped playing yet. We've got Metameme, Feel It, Balancing, and then Life's a Symphony.
yep,
So we're telling some stories early in the set, and
for sure.
that balancing to I like the way you said that, kind of a transitional balancing, not a whole lot of extra fluff there, but a wonderful bridge to walk across between Feel It and Life's a Symphony. And that gets us into the second song that me and Will both experienced for the first time, which is Life's a Symphony and Unity, It's All Right. I've
Oh,
said a
I
lot.
forgot you hadn't seen one yet. Fuck
Nope.
yeah,
I've said a
dude.
lot about this song, and I've got more to say, but I'm curious, Will, your first interpretations of this song.
Yeah, I mean, just going back to like what I had said earlier, anytime a band that's been, out making music for the past 30 years, when they're able to come out with something, especially like that, how can you hate a song like that? But no, I think it fit really well within the set list. And it's funny, Nate, I
Yep.
didn't realize all the samples they used for that. It makes sense now. But yeah, I think overall it's a great song, and I think too it's one of those that even if you didn't fall in love with it when you first heard it, like you guys said earlier, with time, I know this is going to be one of those songs that people like Metameme, they're going to run back to their seats for.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
Yeah.
undeniable, right? And
Right,
and something that I've talked about with Alana, and we've talked about it here on nauseum. It kind of it got the steroid injection, though. Usually, a
yeah,
song like this takes a while to find its place, and it feels like every version of this is a version that we could reasonably play on here if we wanted to. Um,
Yeah.
I was,
They just keep goading it,
yeah.
dude.
It's, I mean, and,
they'll put
and
more
I,
season on it as time goes on.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That
To
shit's
to hear it
blackened.
to hear it Jesus. To hear it live for the first time, man, I keep it long. That my portal is make it longer, and Life's a Symphony is keep fucking around, dude. Like,
Yep.
this is great. Bring Marine back for seconds. Let her sing live on it, and
Yeah.
I am all about it.
And people have to realize like the studio version is what between 3 and 4 minutes. So like you're basically getting 4 to 5 minutes of improv in the back end of every time you hear this, right? And
Yep.
it's
Right.
soaring eagle, fucking flaming hawk, Hunter Brown shit. That man, I feel like like grows 2 feet taller when he plays this song. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, guys, looking at this on paper again, it might look rough with all of this new music, dude. But like, I really like this segment too. I mean, Sky High. I love how it's kind of absorbed the kind of to the world type intro there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, it kind of brings the song full circle. And watching the streams during the Sky High, um, I this was my favorite visual part of the entire weekend here. What Drew and Quantum FX was doing during this song was pretty freaking nasty here. Um, and this is just going to be a visual clip. Again, for anyone who's listening to this episode, this is a definite YouTube episode that we should be watching with all these video clips.
Oh.
This white and blue look here.
Yeah.
And what happens during the bro? What the
Yeah,
fuck?
they had the diamond LED screens on at this point. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and those the crowd scanning lasers. I would have felt like a piece of produce in the supermarket. The self checkout, bro. Like, oh my God, where is the barcode?
Yeah,
Woo!
I mean, they're really finding that tasteful edge with the screens, right? I mean, these just like
They look like they're floating with a look
right.
like this. Yeah, with a
Yeah.
lot of negative dark space being used,
And
and that
exactly. So that you
adds a
almost
very
can't find the
ethereal.
edges. Right.
Yep.
Yeah, right there.
When
Just
they use they seem to have a very deep black, you know, like the super expensive TVs they try to sell you on like, okay, this is the deepest black that you're gonna get, right? Yeah, like you said, Scotty, where you can't tell where the edge of it is a really cool look when he's playing with the blacks and blues here with the white lasers. So I thought that was really fucking cool.
Yeah, and just a note on Sky High, the song. I mean, you want to talk about some gangster shit, dude.
Yeah.
Like that. Any
Objectively gangster. Like
yeah, anytime you're getting you're playing Goody Mob samples, like we're doing it now, boys. Like we're doing everything but crip walking at this point.
I was about to say, hearing anything Outcast or Goody Mob or Dungeon Family related in the mountains of Colorado is always something I'll appreciate. So
Sure, you forget where you are, right?
I know,
We're all from Atlanta at this
I
point.
know.
Like,
That's why I love going to these shows.
and then a walk to the light, which we played a clip of it probably 6 weeks ago. I don't remember what show it was from. But this song is is good as fuck now. Like, like everybody
What the
is.
hell? Yeah.
Like some people would say that it's always been good. It took some time to grow on some people, but I
Fine
mean, dude,
people. Yeah, for sure. I
yeah,
get it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But fuck, dude, this is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
I
have much to say about it other than that, but
I
yeah,
think
loved it.
it fits really nicely next to a Sky High, which
I
is
was about
like,
to say, yeah,
yeah. I think the placement of it is important in between the two songs because you get the Shaky Ground. It was segued into Shaky Ground too.
Yes, it was.
Um, yeah, that's fucking cool too. What the fuck?
yeah.
Jesus.
I think you're right. I think it's all about placements with a lot of these songs, but that
Yeah.
one fit like,
Yeah, like you can't hit a walk the light after a Golden Gate. I get that, right?
right, yeah,
Right.
But after a fucking drum and bass hip hop Goody Mob sample ridden dance
right.
party, yeah, give me the walk to the
It's
light.
some feel good shit.
And
And
Sky
yeah,
High
some
Walk to the Light, Shaky Ground Zero is objective is, is objectively awesome. Like no matter who you are, that is a good time.
Hmm.
Um Only my second Shaky Ground, I think Will's second Shaky Ground as well.
Yeah.
Really my first one since they've been playing it a lot and just, just so much fucking fun. Will, you mentioned earlier your back during that feel it. My knee did a little wiggle during this Shaky Ground that
oh
just
no, that's the
kind
stanky
of,
leg, dude.
dude.
That's
No,
the
it was like if you don't chill the fuck out, you're not gonna make it out of this night. And
This is stifle right now.
yeah, no, I couldn't have had more fun during this song. I was pretty bought in before, but if I wasn't before this one, I mean, dude, this is a real good time.
Right.
Fuck yeah. Hey, I mean, they end the second set with just a song that they have been just leaving scorched earth with Click Clang Echo. Dude, this on paper, it's just like, yeah, like what's going on? But then you hear it and it's like, dude, it fucking works. Yeah, no shit. They know what the fuck they're doing.
Right.
Like, um, I wanted to play this Zach clip that I thought was pretty funny as well before we get into the encore talk. So Zach approaches the stage and yeah, lets everybody know how.
A lot of you know this, I've said it many times, but it's beyond. It's symbiotic, you guys. It's you guys, it's us. And then from all of us to you guys, it's this magic that happens. That is the tribe. right? The motherfucking Sound Tribe.
The motherfucking Sound Tribe. Okay.
So, oh my God. So I'm so glad you played that clip because it just triggered a memory. Someone around me when he said it's symbiotic, somebody goes, "Holy shit, bingo! He said symbiotic. I got bingo."
I gotta see that bingo card.
That's great. Oh my God. I bet Phipps Beanie was on the bingo card too. That had to be a part of this guy hitting bingo. That's incredible. Wow. Yeah. Why the fuck
No.
aren't these being shared with me?
I don't know.
I've just been playing boring ass bingo where you pick song names. No, like picking shit that the band says.
Right.
That's pretty good. Because the free space is love, or the free space is just Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah.
Just
I think I've seen one and that's what it is. I'm like, that's pretty funny. It's just a picture of Jeffrey's face in the middle. I'm like, yeah, it's the free space, of course. Um, we continue with the encore, a trend that just was happening all weekend of like insanely awesome two-song encore choices, right? Dance into Open E. Fuck me up, dude.
Yeah,
Talk
dude.
about a way to cap off a Saturday night dance party like this with a bunch of new fucking songs played all over the place. Like, hey, we're gonna leave you with this shit. It doesn't get much more OG than that. Um, this
yeah.
dance, there's a little bit of slop during this dance, a little bit,
Yep.
but like, some of the lighting moments too. Those like cone lasers that were like the white ones that were just like blinking and shit. I don't know if you Spunions remember at this point, but that shit looked pretty cool.
No, what was funny about it too, not to interrupt, but you said something that reminded me. A lot of the people around us and a lot of people that were at that show, this is their first time seeing Sound Tribe.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
there were kids on shoulders
Yes.
and people around us who were dealing locals who were like, let's see what SES9 is about. Never heard of them. So I think those last two songs after the going into Warp Drive, the first and second set to kind of bring
Sure.
it home with the last two. I think that was a good way for the newcomers to kind of walk away with it,
Yeah.
A taste of the OG shit. Yeah, for
We
sure. Like
had we had a big group
what
of
songs runs what songs walk so these other ones could run, right?
Right. Right. We had a big group of people behind us that was their first show. Some, people probably in their mid 40s. They didn't tell me how they got there, but early on we had the conversation like, yeah, there's amongst the 6 or 7 people in front of you, there's like 700 shows between us. And so they were kind of asking me questions the whole time, and she turned to me at one point during Open E and she said, "I've never heard a song that sounds like this before." And I was like, "Yeah, that's that Open E is one of those." I turned to Will and I said, "This song sounds like giving birth in a graveyard."
I remember that.
Yeah, and like visually too, fucking spectacular here. I mean, this is that is those this is during dance.
Yeah.
Those now they're rainbow popping,
Yeah.
like, oh my God. And then like it gets into kind of more of the traditional like photon look here as well after this. But yeah, like you said, I mean, it doesn't get much better than Dance Open E to finish the show.
Right.
I mean, God fucking damn, look at this shit. This Open E was, I thought, a good because a good kind of redemption from the last time they played Open E, which was like that 5-minute weird version
Yeah.
of DC. Jesus Christ, look at this shit.
Son, like, dude, Drew has fucking arrived. Like,
Yeah.
I know these lasers are kind of a special occasion, but we're dialed in, boys. Like, we are in a new era of lighting that makes sense and looks good every time now.
Right.
Yep. And last thought about this Open E, it shaded to that Wave Spell version where it was like the first time where like Jeffrey was fucking around with the fader on like the howling samples, like the woo, 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 woo,
Uh-huh.
like he was doing that shit. That was fucking badass. Fucker's badass, isn't he?
A lot more experimentation with the samples, like we talked
Yep.
about earlier. That I love that.
Mm-hmm. All right. Night one. Are we picking each night MVP? Or are we picking a Dylan MVP? Or what do we think, boys? We wait till the
We
end.
can do night one MVP. For me, it's pretty clear. I think it's Phipps.
Okay. Will.
Yeah, I mean, Sample Daddy. It's either Phipps or Hunter. I think it's
Sample
Phipps.
daddy. Yeah, I gotta agree with Scott. I think I'm going with Phipps, mostly because I did not realize that he had his own cam that was like facing towards all of his shit. And so being able to like see the show live, obviously I can't see what he's doing specifically down there, but like seeing the show live and then watching him behind the scenes turn the knobs and everything, it's like, oh my God, dude, I can't even imagine, like, especially with the lights
Yeah.
blaring.
Heavy lifter.
I'm gonna go with Alana on this show. Just she slapped everybody into next week on that Feel It. She's fucking around with those fret tracks, that pedal that you were asking about, Will, and has been here for a while, but now you're just asking about it, right? That says something to how much fret tracks was used during this show.
Right.
Yeah, she was a standout in Arigato. She was holding it down during that Be Nice Equinox segue. She got fucking into it during that dance. I thought she was the one band member that was kind of on it the whole time. I thought everybody kind of took their turns kind of flubbing a certain part of dance, but she was just heavy in that fucking pocket. So I'm gonna go with Alana on night one. So
Okay.
Imagine.
Okay.
all right, night two, boys. What a fucking night here.
Never
It,
miss a Sunday show, man. It's the most cliche thing in music for a reason because
yeah.
it's fucking true.
Now, did Sunday end up selling out?
Not to my knowledge, but
Okay.
we were in there.
Yeah.
It was a nice crowd. We were this night we were in the lawn. It was really cool. You know that lawn is very comfy. It's got a nice, comfortable incline to it, so you know you don't feel like you're sliding on the back of your heels the whole time. And had a nice little crew there. So yeah, it was dry. We got to hear every second of sound check, so I'll kind of get into the stuff that I knew was coming beforehand. But yeah, man, we were sitting on blankets and you know and enjoying snacks on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. This was a vibe for sure.
Did they do the VIP sound checks for this run?
No, because I don't think there would have been a point, man. You couldn't have hid that sound check if you wanted to.
Right. Yeah, just with how the venue works out along that
Yeah.
kind of row of condos like you're talking about. Yeah. I only ask because they've been getting into those little, Waysville improv sections during the uh
Wasn't a whole lot of
sound
that.
checks. Yeah.
It was a lot of running through songs and specifically one of our clips they beat the shit out of in sound check, getting it just right. So we'll get into that here in a second. But
Fuck yeah.
getting into it with a nice little ABC's opener.
Nice little. How about big fucking scary ABCs?
Gotta sit in real quick up past his bedtime. Yeah, man.
Hey,
All right, watch your language, boys.
A four of 14-minute ABCs. I had the thought when I was listening to it. What's a better opener, ABCs or Be Nice?
Be nice.
Okay, I know you're a little partial. Will.
I'm gonna say ABCs.
Okay.
I love that song, and I was happy and I was also kind of bummed that we heard it during sound check because it was obvious that they were going to play it at some point. So
Yep.
I was excited to kind of hear them play it because I knew that they were going to play it during that show, but also a little disappointed because I wanted it to be a surprise.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
The first, speaking of ABC, Scott, I don't know if you remember, but one of the very first STS9 hat pins I ever saw back like in 2010 or 11 was the ABCs that were stacked on top of each
Yep.
other. You know which one I'm
The
talking?
blocks.
So that,
Yes.
yeah, the building blocks. So that always stuck out to me. So anytime I hear ABCs, I get excited.
I
Fuck
had
yeah.
the goofiest moment of my STS9 like fandom with that hat pin. In 2013, I went to the meet and greet, Murph's last meet and greet, and I put all my hat pins on my hat because I wanted the band to see how many I had. My hat weighed fucking 20 pounds, bro. Custy
Look at my
level
hat, guys. Look at my hat.
yeah, custy level at 1,000.
His neck
And
down here.
and Hunter snatches my hat off my head and starts looking at the pens, and he looks at that little ABC's pen, and he's like, "Oh, I've never seen this before. Like, can I have this?" Y'all, I said no.
No.
I
You got
said
like 2 of
no.
those, right?
Good for you, dude. Good for
I had
you.
never seen it before. And that was what I said to him. I was like, I haven't either. I was like, I'd really prefer not to give you that one. It's one of my favorite ones. And for the rest, but until I talked to Hunter years later, every once in a while, I'd have a thought and be like, so fucking stupid. Why didn't you just give him the pin? What is your problem?
You give that man whatever he wants.
I was about to
I
say, now
know.
Scott will give him his son.
Right. Like he could have the whole hat now. I can't believe that. But I think about that moment from time to time. I'm sure he doesn't remember, but
Oh no,
I
yeah.
laugh about that to myself regularly.
Do you still have it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's downstairs. I could run and
You
grab it
should.
right now if you will.
That'd be a fun. He would enjoy that. That'd be a
You're
funny
right.
story. for
You're
him,
right.
yeah.
I will tell that story to him. Who knows? Maybe sooner than later.
Yep. Cool. First clip from night 2. After that ABC's opener. Let's get into it, boys. Has Caesar stopped jumping?
I was about to say, yeah, it was so funny watching him throughout the show. Just I can see exactly.
Look at Mitch. I'd respond to that call anytime.
I mean, Zach is literally like a human metronome. Yeah,
Yeah.
the way he goes, this that starts off, and I don't know tempos that well or beat patterns or whatever, but
None
like,
of us know how to talk about this
right,
shit.
yeah, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but yeah, it just starts off slow and like the band just I mean, it's so like they take cues from each other, but Zach is obviously keeping like the pace of the entire song, and it's just like,
Yeah.
how the hell does he do this?
Great point. And what it is, it's in-ear click track where a lot of bands will use a click track as kind of a crutch because it's like preset on a tempo.
Right.
But the click track that they use feeds off of Zach's kit, so he controls the click in their in-ear monitors.
Oh, I
That's
didn't know
how
that.
they're able to pull that shit off. Um, yeah, and this is a fast call, right? This is not a slow call jam. It's like a fast call has to kick up into a fast grow. Like,
Mhm.
um, I don't know when the last time we've gotten a call like this, Scotty. This one kind of is reminiscent of like an act show or something, right?
Yeah.
Um, More set list fuckery, where again we see them using the segued into song as the launching pad, right? A lot of the times we're
Right.
hearing shit into call, maybe back into something else, but call into grow. I've we've seen them do that before. Yeah, like a crow jam. I think that happened on my Hunter show actually, or maybe it was the night after in Asheville. Um, we'll welcome it. Another 1, 2, 3 punch to start the show, where you're looking at ABC's call into grow to start night two.
And some cool like dark light dark going on here, right? Because
Mhm.
ABC is a darker kind of trudging type of track. Then Call Grow is bright and fluffy and funky and fun,
Jazzy.
and then we go to the graveyard
Mhm.
for
Well, yeah,
the
before we get to that, like, right, like they just couldn't stop teasing Call Jam while they're going to
right.
grow. Like
Oh my gosh, and
who's gonna get the
the
last one
speed.
in? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
or they're almost doing like a bit with each other, like how far into this grow can one of us tease Call Jam?
Uh-huh.
um, but yeah, let's talk about this dust because I had it clipped out. It was by democratic choice. We went with the Call Grow clip, which after listening to that, yeah, I don't know, I couldn't imagine not going over that on the show. Um, but this dust sounded different. Another song that I think is just coming of age right in front of our eyes, where I think it was kind of polarizing to start in terms of kind of like the truck backing up noise and everything like that. But like it gets undoubtedly spooky and into a very fucking, like you said, graveyard pocket here. Where it seemed like Phipps was almost like hitting those notes like the
Mhm.
like in a different cadence. And on the stream, you go back and watch it, Scotty. Like when they fit something new in and they show Hunter's face and he's like kind of hearing it live for the first time, he pulls like a looks over at Phipps like, yeah, okay, that sounded pretty fucking sick. Like, and the modular jam that came out of this too is pretty. It has some cojones for sure.
And then to move my peeps. I mean, kind of a classic example of a newer song with a older song. Man, dude, the vibes of the crowd at this point in the night were high on the on the lawn. Will, thoughts on this seg from Dust to Move My Peeps?
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up, Nate, earlier when you're talking about like getting into the spooky stuff, like starting off with the ABCs with the spooky stuff, getting into kind of like the lighter. And it goes back to just like, a lot of the crowd again are like local, obviously people travel for the show, but
Yeah, they're like, what kind of fucking band is this?
like the vibe is like for somebody who's new to it is like, well, what am I actually looking at here? And I think that's what makes this particular set, and even Saturday night, kind of the
Mhm.
same kind of vibe. I think I spare a thought for the people who saw the show for the first time, who again maybe locals never heard of Sound Tribe, and I like the way they kind of go in and out of the spooky stuff into like the jazzy stuff.
Mhm.
Sure. And then into an It's All Right, which we're back
Yeah, well, one
into.
one more thought on this
Okay.
Dusk Move My Peeps combo, right? Like in for a period of time, the monster segue of STS9 was Move My Monkey, right?
Right.
And we've seen the Dusky Monkey, and now we see the Dusky Peeps. You see what they're building here, man. Like they're just
Yeah.
creating more of those triple threat moments, like where they can pass, dribble, or shoot at any point and fucking do whatever they want, right?
Yeah. I we
It's
we are
opening up the playbook quite a bit.
we're yet to see a G Funk Dusk Monkey Peeps, right? Or
Let's fucking
something
go,
something
yeah.
of those four.
Mm-hmm.
That feels like a headlining fight on Halloween, you know?
But
They're
But
loading up for that one.
it's funny you say that too earlier when I was talking about the first time I saw Sound Tribe live and the monkey music breakdown was the moment I turned to Scott and I was like, I get it. Move
Yeah.
on Peeps was the song they played before and they moved
yeah,
in.
it was a Move My Monkey. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
have
That
this
might have been
weird,
the first one. Yeah.
yeah,
It
I
was
have this
actually,
weird,
I think it was a New Dawn, new Move My Monkey. If
you're right.
I,
Okay.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I can actually pull up your original sets by Scotty and see for myself. But no, I think I'm like conditioned anytime I hear Move My Peeps, I'm ready for monkey music. Like my brain is just ready for it. So it's
Yeah.
I
Yep.
slight disappointment just for my personal reasons for not hearing monkey music right after Move My Piece. But I like how they kind
But
of
we
play.
got it in Boulder,
Oh
so.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like you said, Nate, I like how they're kind of toying around with other songs to bleed into with that.
Mm-hmm. Definitely works for sure. Go on, Scotty.
It's all right, man. We're not
Bro.
playing it. But
Sounds so good.
they pimp the fuck out of this song, and I think my only note is they should pimp it more. Like that part where they stop playing and kind of
Yeah. The
let it
false
chill,
ending.
and then
Yeah.
doom. They should do that 10 more times, dude.
Just keep doing
Zach
it.
should walk off of stage and come back and pick it back up.
Just spin
Like
it.
this,
A
they
fake set
could
break. Yeah. Just
Dude, they could pimp this harder than a bat flip in the World Series, bro.
yeah.
Like at least as many times as they do it, they could put that many on the back end, and it still be fucking incredibly fresh and fun to me.
It's like a GIF, like
Right.
you know, but like it's it's creating these kind of moments, right, where you have that false ending of a 4-year Puma, right? The da 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 da,
Right.
Mhm.
and they're doing this kind of playful shit with this new music too. But like one thing about this, it's all right too. I feel like they keep adding more of those like almost Empires-esque, like super like echoey vocal samples at the
Sure.
beginning. I can't put my finger on like what the fuck they're saying, but it sounds so fucking cool. I feel so cool when I'm listening to this song. It's like a
Do a good
leather.
job of
It's like
keeping
a
it
leather
fresh.
jacket of a song, you know? Like
Fits for any occasion, right?
yep.
Th-
Love it.
and then Will's first Peachtree.
Yep.
Fuck,
Oh,
dude.
for the Atlanta boys.
I
It
mean,
doesn't
what
even
else can you
matter.
say?
This
Right.
song could suck so bad, bro. I would never admit to it. Like,
Because it's
dude,
called Peachtree.
this could be fucking Phipps farting into a microphone, and I'd be like, "Hey, bro, it reminds me of Water Song." Like, I don't know. Like, no matter what this shit sounded like, I'd be cool with it. But
Oh, that's
the
funny.
fact that it sounds like it does just makes this so fun. Yeah, man, I got nothing bad to say about Peachtree and Ramon. They've done it before. We're not clipping it out today. But Will, your impressions of this?
Yeah, I always joke with Scott, and I know I'll never probably, I'm crossing my fingers. We'll probably never hear this again, but they're when they covered Spodiote.
Yeah.
back in like
I don't think it's out of the question.
it may not be out of the question, but
yeah.
I'm already at peace with that. I'm never going to hear this song live. So
Mhm.
I hear Peachtree, and that is my new like I'm replacing Spodek
Hell yeah.
that one.
Okay. I love that. That's a
So,
great take.
yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that. And of course, your boy CZ gets it. You know, he wasn't in Nashville to see it, and he had been texting about Ramon before it had happened. And I was like, yeah, I hear it, but we'll see. And of course, they did it, and then they bring it back. So, yeah, I'd be cool if like, dude, even if Ramon and Peachtree becomes a suite,
Yeah.
they could just it's peanut butter and jelly, man. It's
Moving.
Bro, when they
it's lemon
started
pepper
playing,
wet, dude.
Yeah, extra crispy.
when they started playing this, dude, it felt like the band was huddled around CZ. Like Alana was like down here like this, like
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
at him, and like Zach was like body facing him. Like it really
You
felt
could
like
you could see it on the stream before they even started playing Ramon. That like nearing the end of Peachtree, like they look like they're up to no good, and you can obviously see where CZ is because of like him jumping on the stream. You could tell they were looking at him,
yeah,
even
and
through the
that's
stream.
man. If I have one complaint about this night, say Zach, say CZ's name at the end of this. Like when he was like, "Can I just say like when we do certain things and you guys get excited, dude?" He was pointing at CZ. Like,
Yeah.
can I just say CZ? Fuck yeah, dude.
Hey,
Like,
he gave him a shout at the Paramount show. He did.
oh, did
after
he?
the
He said his
round.
name on
Yeah.
the mic. I
He
didn't
did.
remember that.
Yes. Yep. Well, he's also calling us the Chicago people. It's like, come on, bro. Come
Sure.
on.
Yeah, man.
But that was really cool too to see him kind of have his own little talk to Caesar, whether he said his name or not.
Yeah.
It's such a cool closer.
Let's just recap this set on paper. ABC's Call into Grow, Dusk into Move My Peeps, It's All Right, Peachtree into Ramon.
I mean,
Put that on a piece of wood, Scotty.
Yeah, I don't know. No, for real though. I mean, whatever you can say about seeing the first night on paper, you cannot deny the second night on paper.
no
No.
way, no
And
way.
it ca-
You could call it set of the weekend if set 2 doesn't happen, and I'm sure there's an argument to be had for some of those Boulder sets. But I mean, dude, it doesn't get much better than this.
Right.
No. Yep. So we'll get into it with their first clip from the second. Wow.
Dude.
I would have been looking for a life jacket with those lasers.
I was just like, fuck it, I'm going swimming.
I didn't even realize Hunter was having technical problems.
There he is.
Hunter's only technical problem is that he's technically awesome.
Oh yeah. Wow. I could live in that segue for the rest of my life
I'm
with
saying.
those, like with those two things going on at once. Like, oh
So
my.
we did get to live in that segue for about 40 minutes, because this was their main point of focus during the sound check.
Oh my
Um,
God, really?
yes,
Oh, that well,
yes.
like, okay,
This
that's
seg
okay.
was
That's enjoyable
was
for that reason, but like, then you knew it was coming.
yes,
Yeah, and that's how I
and
felt about ABCs. It was the same
yeah.
thing. I can't wait to
Mhm.
hear this, but like, oh my God, they're playing.
This was that moment for me. I will say it was a little bit sweeter because I ran into Holt and Jamie Doherty at set break, and it was Jamie's 100th, and this was
Oh
her
fuck yeah.
request. And
What, like I
so,
do into Shakti or Shakti? Okay,
shock
I was like,
doctrine,
whoa.
shock doctrine,
Straight up.
and getting the context to it in real time, I was like, oh, this is what they're doing. That was what they were doing. They were
Yeah.
getting that dialed in because it was a request, and so they were
Yeah.
accommodating that
S-
request.
Similar
Um,
to the falling Satori falling.
yeah, and she even said
Bro, are we
something
getting
like,
back to another mashup era of SCS9? Is this
"It's
happening?
look, I hope so."
Fuck.
But she even said something like, "I don't think they're gonna do it," and dude, for them to do it out the gate, second set, man, I wasn't around them when it kicked in, but I saw them afterwards, and I was just you're always so pumped for people when they get their 100th show song. I mean, that's so special, and she's
Yeah.
great. Shout out Holt, shout out Jamie, and
And
happy
Scott,
100th.
you had said something, I think, after Sunday night. You were, or maybe even it might have been actually when we were listening to them do this on sound check. But you were like, if I was going to introduce somebody who's never heard soundtrack before,
Yeah.
I would
Oh yeah, I
introduce
say that a
Shock
lot on
Doctrine.
here.
And that's and again, that was my first exposure to them too.
Yeah.
So it's funny how that kind of comes around. But that was probably, yeah, I might be getting ahead of myself, but I think that was my favorite moment of the
Of the
week.
weekend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, that there's an argument to be made for that, for sure. I mean, this is, I think since that 15-minute Like I Do in the Eastern in 2022, we've kind of been waiting for a moment like this for this song. Where it's completely different. It's not like a fucking jammed out one. It's segued into a Peace Blaster song. Like I don't know. I don't think like Shock Doctrine when I think Like I Do. Like it's just another one of those things like where it's like they fucking know better than we do and they've got all this shit swirling, all these ideas swirling around in their heads. Um it's just perfect. Like yeah, like for you to just live in that like just the back end of that Like I Do into like they're on their fucking DJ shit, dude. Like it's this is really really cool shit. So pumped for you guys. And that Shakti jam was fucking wicked right after
Fuck
it
yeah, it was.
too.
Yeah.
And then
um,
your favorite song,
bro,
Circus.
another good one, another really good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. little casual second set circus.
Hey, I
Um,
unironically enjoy the song now. How about that?
we
Yeah.
were sitting down for this one, and it was awesome. It
Mm-hmm.
was just a good Sunday cuddle puddle amongst everybody, and there's nothing wrong with sitting down and taking in a moment every once in a while. And we weren't sitting because we didn't enjoy it. We were sitting because there was grass under our feet and friends on both sides of us. And fuck, dude, my legs were so tired after that shock doctor, and my leg did the wiggle thing again, and it was like, yo, chill. Here's a circus.
Yeah. I also think too, going back to like the locals, that was another moment where it was like, all right, we're coming back in,
Yep,
Yep.
yep. This is
selling
what
out
we're
for a
this is
second.
this is what we're known for.
Right.
Or this is a gateway to what we're known
It's
for.
yeah, it's normie friendly for sure.
Sure, definitely.
They want to shout out at Jam Music World on Instagram. Has posted a lot of really good videos, longer length reels from the weekend. And whoever is the account, they were standing like straight back near kind of what seemed like the middle of the lawn. One thing I've never heard the mix come through on like a phone video so well. And another thing, man, the rainbow lasers on Circus, yeah,
The
they
white
paid that
rainbow
justice.
fades like they were doing
Hmm.
on the dance on the night before. Man, that's my favorite thing they were
More of
doing
like
this
a
weekend.
ocean wave kind of thing,
Yep.
going on. Really cool. Um, yeah, it's that segue and it's this next one, Will, that I think are up there for most special, unique, playful parts of the weekend for sure.
God, Phipps and Hunter are so special on this. Fuck off, dude.
Good lord. Oh, those red things. What the hell?
All day.
It looks like a fishlight rig.
I think this was the moment that I realized that they had the fog machine set up in the sound booth. So we would look over and there would just be like, it looked like it was on fire. Like,
Okay. I had something to talk about with this because the stairs looked like they were lit up with that orange, and it looked like the fucking carbon freezing chamber where fucking Han Solo got frozen in carbonite. Like this shit right here. Like
yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
like that's what it fucking looked like. Like on the streets, I was like, what is going on in there?
And you
Dude,
could kind of gauge where they were going with it by how much fog was coming out
yeah.
of the sound booth. But no, that I thought that was something that was kind of cool.
Oh man, I mean, what just like these segues from this
This
weekend,
is
man.
this is another one we knew was coming.
Oh man, I would have.
See, and this is the only mixed bag of emotions I have about that is I was really excited before about the idea of being around during sound check, and I walked away being like, that was cool, but I also could have done fine without it.
Hey, maybe I'm glad I wasn't there then. What the fuck?
Well, I mean, you'd enjoyed the accommodations enough for it to mitigate any butthurt about that, but
Right.
that was the one bummer was both of these were they sounded so dialed in on the soundboard because they were very dialed in and they were working on
Practice this
them,
shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
very
It
very
was like
so.
peeking into like your Christmas presents the day before Christmas.
You have
I'm
to
so
act
happy I did
surprised.
it, but, you know,
Yeah, like it's an
Um,
N64, I'm pumped,
yeah.
but
I wish
but
I.
I was trying to figure that out when it was happening. I was watching on the stream like the dun 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 dun. I was
yeah,
like, it kind of sounded like mischief at first, and I was like, that makes sense. Walk this guy mischief. And then I'm like, oh wait, no, that's fucking tapping. Like
right,
even Hunter hits like the dun, 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 a
right.
little bit, and then goes back into the like, oh man, just like switching back and forth, and then like this tapping intro with like some of that like drum and bass spice still mixed in there. Nasty shit, boys. My
Yep.
God. Like,
And kind of felt inevitable, right? Based on the Boulder Theater set list, that was a very tap in friendly set of songs, and
yep.
it felt like it had been getting teased. So for it to finally happen on set two of the closing set, I said this to Will in the moment. I always have a couple of moments. For me, it was during this circus where I get a little sad during the last set because you're
Mm-hmm.
like, "Fuck,
Yeah, especially
dude."
with a 3 night run, you're like, man,
Yeah, dude, I
the whole
love these
weekend it felt like,
people.
yeah, and the
Yeah,
whole weekend it feels like I have so much music ahead of me, right?
right. And
Like,
you're there and you're doing it. You're with everyone you love and you wouldn't want to be anywhere else in the world and you only get that there is now officially an expiration date on that and they're feeding us good. But I remember during this circus and at one point during this tap and I was like, God damn, I love this so much. I'm so sad this is about to be over.
Yeah. And it's kind of like, like a couple of years ago, it was like, yeah, they're going to play Red Rocks. They do it every year. But
mhm.
Dylan's still kind of up in the air, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right. So you're like, is this the last time I'm going to get to experience this? Of course. That all that's going through my mind at this point.
Yeah, let's turn this around, guys. You're making me bumming me out. How about a really good arrowhead after this, man?
Yeah, not the longest arrowhead, but kind of it kind of serves the same purpose as that balancing did in that Saturday night stretch of songs where you got to get from that tap into that year infinity somehow, and Arrowhead's one of those songs that we've seen longer versions of it, feels like probably will be on the album. But yeah, a great kind of action packed Arrowhead. Before we get into let's just listen to it before I talk about it. I have so much to say about this next clip. I mean, dude.
Oh my God.
Come on. Hunter Brown.
Yeah, you get it now, Scotty?
That's all.
Yeah, zoom in.
You go first.
That's you, Will. I wasn't there.
I mean, this is one of those moments where I was like, did we just open up the second set? Like it felt like we were doing it all over again. Like that was the vibe. It was like, all right, pick your ass back up. We still got some more work to do out here, you
Mhm.
know. And yeah, I mean, you know, by this point, you know, third night in, second set, you know, your legs are like jello, but that shit will get you back up, man.
Yes. Yes. I'm glad you said that. I kind of forgotten that element of it where we were pretty much down for most of this set to this point. And again, in a great, most comfortable way possible, but when this started, everyone stood the fuck up.
Right.
And y'all, I was it's funny. Will gives me a hard time for kind of jumping the gun on some of these opinions that I have from time to time. Um, and maybe that's deserved sometimes, but I've had a week to sit on it. I didn't listen to this at all before today. I've listened to it 5 times today. After watching it, I just can't. I really can't put into words how this whole moment had me feeling. Um, the the best way that I've figured out how to describe it is I felt like my physical heart was floating directly above the stage at the peak of all this, down to the point where I was standing, where towards the end I'm kind of just like this because like it gets to the point where you just got to stand still and let them do what they're doing.
Hmm.
And pound for pound, y'all, I mean, the last moment distinctly that I remember feeling like this was Wavespell Circus at Wavespell 2019. Two very different vibes of moments, but there was just something about this year Infinity. And it's funny when I talked to I went backstage on Sunday night just to talk about the year Infinity. Like I didn't give a
Yeah.
fuck about anything else. I just wanted to talk to the band about that. And when I talked to Hunter, we said in unison. I said that year Infinity, and he said we found that one tonight, and I said you
Yeah.
found that one tonight at the same time. He said that they did something to it right before they went on stage. I can't really figure out what it is, but it feels less like how the seed part of that song it like stops, and it's almost that kind of like it's all right thing that we were talking about. That's fun, but when they don't have it and you don't have to wait in between these sections as much, it just feels more dialed in. It feels
Mhm.
pedal to the metal, and I think that's what happened. There's just more intention here. There's less pausing. There's less kind of goofy nuance to it, and more. This is a business meeting at this
Yeah,
point.
I'm not sure if it's a trend or if it's just because of the Dylan shows being like, hey, hard cut off at 10 p.m. But like kind of going back to my original thought of like being more efficient with their sounds. And
Sure, sure.
I agree with you. I think, you know, whether or not that plays a part of it, they were like, hey, listen, like we got shit to go through, you know, we're gonna just kind of get right to it, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
not at the expense of the song either. I
Right,
mean,
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
Mm-mm.
yeah. Yeah, efficiently. I mean, it was
right.
the whole song, but like the best, in my opinion, the best version of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's so fun to watch it grow in front of our eyes. And, the same thing happened with these Artifact songs where, like, dude, Artifact songs sound a whole lot different in the studio than they do in the live setting. And, like, that didn't happen the first time they played these songs, right?
Right.
Like, take a look at the evolution of, like, a Tokyo, for example, sounds very different in the studio than it does live. Like, that. You go back to the early Tokyos, and there's a really sense of figuring that out, and they're figuring this out alarmingly quickly.
Right.
Because they're just so dialed into the art that they're creating, and they're really fucking digging it, and they're really confident in it, and they're being patient with themselves with it too. But
Mhm.
what that's leading to is this like alarmingly increasing rate of how they're figuring shit out. And I mean, this gets me excited for. I'm pretty sure I know how New Year's at midnight is gonna look, and it's probably gonna look and sound something like this, right?
I mean, Year Infinity and New Year's.
Yeah.
Why the fuck wouldn't you do that? And
Well, it's the
the way,
it's the title of the run. Yeah.
yeah, and I mean,
Mhm.
this is the versions of Year Infinity that have been played this year. I mean, this is in the running for Song of the Year at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. it's the proper way to cap it off too with When the Dust Settles. At this point, again, if you're hating on this song still, like, grow the fuck up, man. It's such a banger. um and then we get into our third 2-song encore of the weekend to cap things off here with our last clip.
Thank you. What a shot.
Perfect way to end it. You know, Nate, you had mentioned something in previous episodes where you described Alana's bass playing as galloping. And I
Yep.
think that tooth is a great example of that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, she gets her trot on for sure. Like a fucking Clydesdale, dude.
So, without giving away too much about the story about this source, that was not the original encore for this night. This what I would call a tooth socket was a game
Slow
time
tooth socket, slow
slow
modular tooth
slow
socket.
modular tooth socket was a game time decision. I don't know what the original encore they had planned was, but this was one that they kind of came up with day of, and just so fucking cool and creative. Um,
Evil.
yeah, I yeah, I think they sold themselves short on this one on the labeling of it because I think this is much more of like a grow blue
Yeah,
than a tooth
like
socket.
reworked.
Yeah, than like a
Yeah.
tooth into moon socket. I think you label this tooth socket into modular or just maybe tooth socket, call it its own thing. And make it one long, 8 9 minute track, whatever this ended up coming out as. Because they never fully commit to modular. I mean, to moon socket, in my opinion. You get that intro part, but you never lose the modular of it. So,
They might have
you know,
run out of time too.
no, they definitely did. That
Yeah.
that was Zach even said that when he got on the mic before is like, hey, we're running out of time. We're gonna try to squeeze this in before we run out of time. So
Yeah.
they ended up finishing still with like three or 4 minutes to spare. But not 3 or 4 minutes that could have been used in that moon socket. Like it was kind of either that part or another
Yeah, if they would have kept
seven
going, it would have
minutes,
had to
right?
been another. Yeah.
Right,
Yep.
right,
And
They
at
right.
the
definitely
pace they were
weren't gonna
playing
do
it.
this.
Sorry, go ahead, Will.
I was just saying, like, I know they were very like cognizant of that, just because, like, you go over.
Sure.
I can't remember what artist you'd said, Scott, earlier that
Cheese didn't get
that's right.
invited back.
Yeah, of all
Yeah.
bands.
Right.
They're like, hey, we're gonna end this at 10 p.m. But I thought they did a very good job of like using that time efficiently.
Yeah, and
Yep.
it like you mentioned that weird 5 minute open E that they played earlier in the summer. It didn't feel like that version of Moonsocket. Like
No, because this was different. This was reworked.
yeah, you
Like,
didn't it didn't feel like a robbery of a Moonsocket. I saw
no.
somebody first comment I saw when I got online because the algorithm serves it to you like that, but it said shortest Moonsocket ever. And I'm just like,
Dude,
dude,
that wasn't a regular
shut
moon
up,
socket,
bro.
dude.
Like
Did you fucking hear
y'all
what just happened?
Y'all will find any reason to fucking hear your own voice and see your own post on Facebook, man. I swear to God, dude. Like,
Yeah, we all have fucking watches. We know how fucking like how long that was. Like you're not like breaking news or anything, dude. Like that's not
yeah,
like first one to fucking say it, like whatever. Like I would love to hear, sure, I would love to hear like that whatever that slow moon socket like modular shit get flushed out into the fullness of it and really pimp that out. But like you said, Scotty, they stopped at the perfect moment for it to be kind of its own thing,
yeah.
right?
Hmm.
Where it didn't feel like a hard cutoff. It felt like, okay, that was like a something different. That was a different animal for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, it kind of full circle seeming moment with like the modular moon socket opener at Red Rocks 15
Sure.
to
Yeah.
kind of bookend the Dylan run in 2025 with like a modular moon socket ending.
I hadn't even thought about that 10 years
That's a
later.
good point.
Yep. One note here, guys, before we fully wrap it up here. No Chromolite songs during this 3 night run.
Ah,
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
interesting.
Mm-hmm. Not sure if that probably wasn't intentional or I don't know. I think maybe they feel like Colorado's gotten enough Chromolite.
Sure.
But I don't have many notes for the set list choices throughout the weekend.
No, I think Brad told us the way this was going to go. He said that there was kind of a character arc to this whole thing, and each night told its own story. And if you don't feel like that was delivered on, I don't exactly know what you're looking for out of this band. Because if you want the old school shit, you got Boulder. If you want that Saturday night 4 on the floor fucking sweaty, let's get to know each other sound tribe. Yeah, it's your Saturday show. And then Sunday's kind of that beautiful combination of both of those previous two nights and kind of the things that you would love about both of them. So I guess that brings us to our winner of the three nights. Let's start with you, Will. What night are you taking home to mom?
I'm probably taking night 3. I'm
Okay.
taking it back to mom. Honestly, I mean, just with everything that I was kind of looking for, and I didn't even really know what I was looking for. I mean, I'm always looking for a reemergence, but
Yeah.
or native end into reemergence. But really, I walked away from Sunday with like my cup runneth over.
I could tell.
There was nothing that I was like, damn, I really wish I heard this out of this out or the other. And also, I think they did a good job of balancing out like the Boulder Theater show, and then these Dylan runs because it was kind of like two different vibes, but they made it blend in really well together. So I think overall, I would probably say night 3.
What about you,
Scotty,
Nate?
I'll go
No, you
first.
go.
Yeah, I
Go.
would agree. Night 3 is just like perfect combination of new and old. You get the Like I Do, Shock Doctrine, you get the Walk the Sky tap in, you get that entire first fucking set. You get Dusk, Move My Peeps, you get Peachtree Ramon.
Yeah.
Um, just saying all that out loud is like,
Yeah, yeah, it's night 3 for me too. Honestly kind of a podular tailored show if you really think about it. I mean, I'd say the
what
thing
we've been
we
talking about for sure.
ad
Yeah.
nauseum is the thing we talk about the most. It's that beautiful meshing of this new material with the old material, and you are flush with examples of it from top to bottom here. And then you've got like a standalone Year Infinity, which might be the moment of the entire year. For me, it is without a question right now the
Just
moment of the
wait until
year.
December 31st for the next one.
Sure, I know, man. Lucky y'all in Chicago, but for me right now, even to be walking away talking about a Human Dream song as the moment that I cannot stop thinking about in my head, they pulled it off the way they wanted to. I think
Mhm.
to
Yeah.
walk away talking about a Human Dream song, knowing that we are about to be in the throes of the Human Dream 2, and then the album coming out a little later. It just feels like they did it the way they wanted to. And we talk about stuck landings here a lot. I think this is another very well stuck landing of a Colorado run.
I agree.
MVP night 3.
Huh. Hunter. The back and forth, and maybe this is a little cheap, but the tag team of Hunter and Phipps. There's so many conversations that these two had on, especially in this night too, that just really the thing about Year Infinity that stands out to me the most is the way that those two just seem to be egging each other on. So yeah, I think either a Hunter or that tag team, and specifically the moments they created together.
Well,
Same idea, but I'm flipping it over to Alana and Zach. I mean,
yeah.
again,
I love it.
going back to like
Talk it.
watching these guys, through the stream rather than watching them out in the crowd. I mean, you really do have a better appreciation or more of an appreciation of like really what the fuck they're doing behind the scenes, or not behind the scenes, but what they're doing on stage to bring
Yeah.
that all together. And going back to like Zach being a human metronome. I mean, especially and
Yep.
Lana too being a drums and bass are kind of like the structure of a song, keeping the other musicians kind of like on time and everything. I mean, those two did not, and they rarely ever miss a beat. So
Hmm.
I love watching those two play. So I'm giving it to them.
Yep. I'm going Zach Velmer on this one, man. Like that human metronome, like you talked about, just all of these. First of all, we know he's the catalyst of set list writing, and you take a look at this set list, and you're like, "Fuck yeah, dude!" And
Mm-hmm.
then those moments of changing tempos to make these segues work, and some of the drum and bass incorporated on this night. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Zach on this, but
Love it.
that wraps it up,
Well,
guys.
this was fun, guys. This
Mhm.
is a lot of fun.
I'll never forget
Well,
it.
right.
It's a public video. It's on record. But Will, thanks for joining us, man. This was, like Scotty said, a whole lot of fun. What a pleasure to recap an epic run that I'm sure we'll be talking about for a very long time, and I'm sure people will be listening to for a very long time. Thank God for Brad and Bandcamp for getting that to us. But thanks for watching, listening, folks. Whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on Apple Music or Spotify, throw us a like, throw us a subscribe, throw us a review or comment if you're feeling nice. We will be back next week for potentially the most special episode of Podular history so far. More on that to come. But till then, have a great weekend. Much love.
Thank you, fellas. I enjoyed it.